Hi, my name is Alexandra, and I chose Turkey for my Human Rights Report Card. I gave Turkey an overall grade of a D+. Here are several maps of Turkey, including one of the breakdowns of Syrian refugees in different Turkish provinces. Turkey is located in the Middle East and southwestern Asia, and just a bit larger than Texas. Turkey borders Syria to the south, Iraq and Iran to the east, Bulgaria and Greece to the west, and Georgia and Armenia to the northeast. The Black Sea is located north of Turkey, and the Mediterranean Sea in the southwest. I also included a few photos of various sites in Turkey, including the Grand Bazaar in Istanbul and the Hagia Sophia, also known as the Blue Mosque, which is a significant religious site. The current president, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, is also pictured. Here are a few facts and figures about Turkey. Turkey has a population of approximately 80 million people, and 52.8% of its population is in the labor force. Popular industries include commerce, banking, textiles, mining, and a healthy agricultural sector. However, Turkey has high inflation and unemployment rates. Turkey is a parliamentary republic, but there has been much opposition to the parliamentary system and the Erdogan administration, as seen in the July 2016 coup in Istanbul, which was instigated by a group of the Turkish armed forces. The Turkish government has been in a state of emergency since July 2016. Turkey was established in 1923 after the collapse of the Ottoman Empire. In 2015 and 2016, Turkey saw an influx of terrorist violence in Ankara, Istanbul, and southeastern Turkey. In 2017, the Turkish government decided to change the governmental structure from a parliamentary republic to a presidential system. The Turkish government has committed many human rights violations, but I'm going to focus on just a few critical issues. The Turkish government has recently jailed journalists, shut down several media outlets and television stations, and physically assaulted and threatened journalists to silence objections from the media. The Turkish government has also encouraged media outlets to fire journalists because of their condemning content against President Erdogan, and they have fired many news sites that are critical to the government. 144 journalists are currently being held in pretrial detention without any evidence used in court to support the charges, and now NGOs and human rights groups are also under attack by the Turkish government, including activists from Amnesty International. Turkey has received approximately 3.5 million Syrian refugees and 500,000 migrants and asylum seekers from Afghanistan, Iraq, and other countries in the Middle East. Many refugees and migrants lack primary quality education, adequate governmental protection, housing, and formal employment, all which the government has failed to address. Syrian asylum seekers in Turkey have high rates of child labor. When refugees attempt to cross the Turkish-Syrian border, many have been shot and beaten to death by Turkish guards and often are not allowed to return to their homes that were destroyed by Turkish military operations. Many instances of torture and other cases of ill treatment have been reported while in Turkish police custody and during political coups after the July 2016 coup attempt. According to NGOs, Turkish soldiers and police officers reportedly beat at least 30 people in Hakkari province in southeast Turkey during a skirmish with the Kurdistan Workers' Party, and 2 people were killed due to excessive force. Villagers were reportedly taken out of their homes and beaten in the town square, and Turkish police custody detained 10 of them despite their injuries. Additionally, 160,000 people have been arrested by Turkish police just 18 months after the July 2016 coup. According to an article from Time magazine, more than 1,300 Turkish NGOs have been permanently shut down by the Turkish government. An organization called the Van Women's Association, which fights to prevent sexual violence against women in remote Turkish villages, was also created. According to a report by Amnesty International, the cutting off of these 1,300 Turkish NGOs have afflicted hundreds of thousands of Turks and have left them in constant fear. The legal system and public sector have mostly collapsed, and journalists, academics, activists, and human rights defenders have faced arbitrary detention by the Turkish government. The first image on the left shows demonstrators protesting the arrest of 3 freedom of the press advocates in June 2016. The image on the right depicts a woman protesting the arrest of 11 human rights journalists who were accused of belonging to, in quotes, terrorist organizations. The picture on the bottom left shows police firing water cannons on protesters in Istanbul in 2013, and the Turkish government has also used similar aggressions, including tear gas, live ammunition, beatings, and plastic bullets since its coup in 2016. In the image on the bottom right, a woman participating in an LGBTQ Pride Festival is being detained by Turkish riot police in Istanbul in 2016. The government has banned LGBTQ Pride in Istanbul for several years. The Association for Solidarity with Asylum Seekers and Migrants provides services, support, and legal rights for refugees and asylum seekers coming abroad from conflict zones to Turkey. Based in Ankara, the NGO has established projects such as providing resources about proper nutrition to migrants to prevent malnutrition in Turkish urban areas. The NGO also offers counseling programs for expecting mothers on pregnancy and breastfeeding during a time of war. By December 2016, the NGO had distributed e-voucher cards to 100,000 refugees in Turkey that provided them with blankets, winter clothing, kitchen gear, and hygiene kits. I gave Turkey an overall grade of a G+ because of the significant human rights abuses afflicting refugees and migrants, journalists, academics, the LGBTQ community, and women. The new presidential system implemented by Erdogan does not feature sufficient checks and balances and has reversed human rights in the judicial system in Turkey. Thank you so much for listening.